Hi everybody. This week I'm bringing you the second part of the series I began last week on the modern forehand. Last week we discussed a few key components on that forehand. Number one, we discussed the grip. The two best grips for the forehand are the Eastern forehand grip or the semi-Western grip. Other details included the shoulder turn. As we turn our shoulders, the racket goes back in what we call a unit turn. Very important to make sure that the racket goes back when the shoulders turn sideways and vice versa. A couple other key components. The racket head is going to be above the wrist. The arm is going to be a little bit away from the body. The hitting arm is going to be a little bit away from the body. And the left arm, or the non-hitting arm, is going to be across a little bit towards 3 o'clock. So again, we've got the correct grip. We've got the good unit turn with the racket head up and the arm away. The left arm slightly across the body. So, next phase of the forehand coming right now. So the next phase of the forehand is this. We're assuming that we've made a good unit turn and everything is correct. We're going to create a lag and a snap. Let me explain. The racket head is going to then, from this position where it starts above the wrist, it's going to lag behind the wrist, and then it's going to snap forward, creating pace or depth. It's going to basically create a whip effect that gets the racket head to accelerate just prior to impact. So very important to make sure that that is happening, and to make sure that that occurs correctly, we want to make sure we have a slightly loose grip. If we're choking the grip too tight, we're not going to get that lag and snap or that acceleration, and it's going to impair the quality of your forehand. So again, we're going to have the racket head lag down behind the hand, and then it's going to snap forward. The next part of the forehand I want to discuss is what Andre Agassi called the 12-inch rule. And in my opinion, it's one of the most important things that I've ever heard anybody convey on a forehand, backhand, a serve, or a volley. Let me explain what that means. The 12-inch rule is this. For the 6 inches before contact to the 6 inches after contact, the racket head should be traveling in the direction that you're trying to hit. If you hit the ball a little bit early or a little bit late, you're still going to be okay. And it's the best way to make sure you make good, clean, solid contact to hit that ball that penetrates through the court. So the 12-inch rule is a fantastic rule that you can use for all of your tennis strokes. Obviously, we're talking about the forehand right here. Last part to the forehand is the finish. So there's been a lot of people discussing exactly where the racket should end up and where it should finish. So it's going to finish in different spots depending on what you're trying to do with the ball. You'll see sometimes Roger Federer comes down a little bit lower. Some players tend to finish a little bit more over the shoulder. They're all correct. There's no right or wrong way. But the key is we want to make sure that you don't stop the racket too early. If the racket stops too early, it's a violent stopping motion. The racket head is going to change directions, resulting in loss of control. So as we go into that 12-inch rule, we want to make sure the racket head just continues on to the opposite side of the body. So those are a few of the key components on the forehand. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, please feel free to hit me up. So good luck out there and have fun.